plague after plague. The one that hit Pharaoh so hard was the plague of the flies. When I was reading about these flies, they were so huge. And it says they were landing on the edges of the eyelids of the people. They were torturing people. They were stinging those eyes until they became swollen, even disfigured the face of Pharaoh. Pharaoh was scared. And this hit him hard, because that's where he said, whoa, these people, I think they must go out. And he played a game. And that's what I want to take you through this morning. I want us to see the 4 compromises that Pharaoh offered to Moses. It's like saying, let's make a deal, Moses. I'm going to allow you to go, but let's make a deal. Let's make a compromise. So, because of the time going, we're going to go fast, and the children are coming out. They're hungry, and some of you, the stomachs are saying, I'm hungry. So, compromise number 1, positional compromise. Pharaoh looked to Moses. He said, Moses, Aaron, you don't need to go out. Stay in Egypt and sacrifice to your God. I call it positional compromise. Pharaoh says, you don't need to go out. Go sacrifice your God, but remain in the land. What can we learn from this compromise? Salvation is a journey. We must forsake Egypt. Abraham had to leave Ur. Lot had to leave Sodom. The prodigal must leave the pig pen. Noah condemned the world. It's a lie when the devil says you can have faith, you can be a Christian. You don't need to move out of the world. You can put one foot in the world, one foot in the church. That's what the devil was trying to talk to Moses through Pharaoh. He says, Pharaoh and Moses, you don't need to take the children of Israel out. You can worship your God right here. You remain in Egypt and worship God. But the devil is a liar, because you cannot worship God and stay in the world. One interview was made to someone who was 100 years old. A reporter asked, Sir, what do you think the best thing about being your age? You are 100 years. That the old man said, that's easy. The man replied, he says, no peer pressure. He said, I've lived all these 100 years, no peer pressure. You see, peer pressure affects everybody. And some of you here, you know what peer pressure is all about. Some of you, peer pressure is what drew you where you are. Peer pressure comes in different forms. You hear people say, you are not cool if you don't come to this kind of party. You are not cool. You look old. Peer pressure. I overheard some young people, children talking. I was in one country in Africa. I want to mention it because people are watching these sermons. And I hear 2 teenagers, 2 teens, girls. I hear one saying, do you have a boyfriend? He said, no. Why? He says, I don't know. I said, don't you have a boyfriend? Yeah, no. Well, no. I knew it was peer pressure now building up on that little girl. Peer pressure. Says, just stay here. You don't need to go out. Worship your God while you are in Egypt. You can still be a Christian and go to church. But just do what we want you to do. Just laugh at these kinds of jokes. You can still be religious, But just don't go all the way out for God. But listen to me, Masaki people. When you meet Jesus Christ, your life must be changed. When the lame met Jesus Christ, the lame walked. When the leper met Jesus Christ, that isolation left. When the blind met Jesus Christ, he saw. When the deaf met Jesus Christ, he could hear. Even when the dead met Jesus Christ, they were resurrected. The hungry people, when they met Jesus Christ, they left with a full stomachs. That's why they came back day by day. When you meet my Jesus, your life gonna change. You cannot say, I'll go to church and I'll go to the disco. I'll go to the church and I'll go to the disco. It doesn't work. That's what Pharaoh was talking about. He says, Moses, you can still worship. You can be a worldly Christian. You don't need to be so Christian. And then Moses said, no, we must go and worship our God. And I could hear him. When I use my whole imagination, I hear Moses saying, Pharaoh, that's not working. I am going with my children. And you see, my dear Masaki people, when you read that verse, it says we are going with our children. He didn't say we are going with children. Our spiritual possession. And the Pharaoh said, wow, these people are powerful. Then as they left, Pharaoh became again tougher. Compromise number 2. Spiritual compromise. The first one is what? The second one? Yeah, I want you to remember this. You can share with your friends. The second one says, Moses says, Pharaoh, leave us, we want to go. Pharaoh says, let's make a deal. Let's compromise. You see, that's how the devil always does. Compromise, compromise, compromise. So when I saw this text, Exodus 10 verse 9 is so powerful, it's so rich. I said, wow, this is a beautiful camp meeting. I can't wait. I told even your elder, I said, that's my favorite text. Spiritual compromise. Pharaoh says, don't go very far away. He says, stay where you may have fellowship with Egypt. Pharaoh says, Moses, Aaron, you don't need to go very far. Look, that's what the devil does to us even now. Many people tell us, don't go off the deep end, or don't carry that religion too far. And I've noticed something about people who say things like this. They are just like Pharaoh. When they are desperate, they are first ones to plead, pray for me. Don't misunderstand me. I have no problem praying for anyone. I just want to point out that even the most hard-hearted people ask for prayer at desperate times. Don't go too far. It says, don't go very far. If Satan can't keep you from going, he will at least try to keep you from going far. So the modern day Pharaoh say, don't be carried away with all the religious stuff. Why do you go to prayer meeting? Huh? Why do you go to camp meeting? Why do you want to be so much religious? Enjoy your life. We are young. That's how the devil does. He says, don't go too far. Huh? You see, they settle right on the board of wilderness. They hug the boundary. They live in the shadow of the Sphinx. The problem with listening to Pharaoh was to not go very fast, that in your spiritual life, you will not go far. And the Pharaoh says, no, let's make a deal. Let's compromise. Just be here. Don't be too religious. Just be here. You can worship God. Pharaoh was saying, just don't get carried away. Sound familiar? I get it that you go to church on Sabbath morning, but Saturday night, diamond platinum. You may sing, we are marching to Zion Saturday night. You don't need to do the Wednesday night thing. Discipleship? I don't need discipleship. That's just way overboard. You can go along with the Christianity, but just don't become fanatic. You see, too many churches now, they are compromising with the world. They want to look like the world. Let's not become too Christian. Let's just be like them. No. And I'm telling you, we are Christians, Bible-based Christians. We are Seventh-day Adventists. And I'm always saying I'm proud to be a Seventh-day Adventist. And I love to tell people who I am. I don't mind going too far. Too far of what? Worshipping my God is too far? No. You know, Masaki, you are so lucky. You are still preaching the word. There are some churches that don't even preach the word. They are just wasting their time. You come to worship here, the pastor is wasting your time. You get up and say, so what did he say? Oh, Jesus is coming again. Church members are crying for bread, and we are giving them porridge. They are crying for bread. They want to see Jesus Christ. So may Masaki Church be a place where young people come and be fed the bread of life. Because why should I come to church when the same thing I enjoy outside is the same thing I find in the church? To be a waste of time. Give them the word. Preach the word. Jesus is coming again. We don't need to entertain people, but preach the word. So Pharaoh says, you don't need to go, don't be too Christian, man. Don't be too Adventist. Oh my God. Oh, don't be too, yeah. Anyway, let me go. Time is going. Amen? I know. That's a good support. You know, the first one, the example is Demas. Demas loved what? The world. That's position. This second one here is Lot. You know Lot? With Abraham, when they fight, Lot decided, I want to go and pitch my tent first thing Sodom. I had a secretary somewhere here in the States. She said to me, Pastor Muganda, I love living in Washington, D.C. I said, why? She said, I love the smell. I love to watch the people. I love to see the buildings. I love the smell of that city, downtown. Well, I reminded her, I said, well, you better not be like Lot. You may be going to Sodom. But there are some people who are like Lot. They want to stay and face the world. We want to be closer to the world. Number 3, Moses looks into the eyes of Pharaoh. In fact, when I read this text, Pastor Mr. President, I see Pharaoh sitting up higher. Moses and Aaron, they're a little bit lower. Pharaoh says, you're not going anywhere. Let's compromise.